Welcome back, everybody. Another fun video here at Flea Electronics, documenting a little bit on the Shelby Hamfest in Shelby, North Carolina, Labor Day weekend here. Out and about on my golf cart, and I have picked up a cute little mono amp here that somebody built. It's got a phono input, but runs 6973s. I thought that was cute, and I picked up a little web core speaker with a built-in amplifier in this thing. Thought that would be pretty neat. We're going to load up and put that in the car, but they're calling for some pretty bad weather here this weekend. You can see quite a few people here, but a lot of people's stuff still covered up because of the wind and the rain that's likely to come in. So, at any rate, we'll keep riding around and see what all we can find today, and kind of document it as we go. Somebody's got a couple boxes here labeled free stuff. And I dug out of it a couple nice panel meters with a plate current meter and an old some type part of a power supply. Something that's got two Western Electric capacitors on it. Well worth having. Alright, found a box of tubes back here off a guy. I didn't want a video right in front of him, but a whole box full of tubes here. A bunch of individually wrapped ones in there, but I got the whole box for $5, so how wrong can you go at $5 here? So I'll just put all this stuff up here in the car. And that's pretty much what we'll do all day long. Is hopefully fill this car up slowly, a little bit by little bit. I just bought this Subaru Outback little car. I needed a car that was an automatic. My main car is a BMW 5 Series with a straight drive, and it's a little tough on the knee driving long distances, and this is a great little Hamfest vehicle. It's basically what I bought it for. Okay, the last 30 minutes have been extremely busy. I picked up 3 boxes of tubes off a guy here, just random stuff, for $50. I bought a super nice TV7 BU for $200. Let's see here. I bought this caddy of tubes was in with the deal for $50. Bought a Tektronix 335 oscilloscope that works for $50. And I bought 2 ICO tri-band sideband receivers that are full of good tubes, and the power transformer in this thing would be great for an audio setup. I got these for $10 a piece, so I've been racking up some stuff here. Alright, it's windy out here. You may not be able to hear me well, but I bought this box full of tubes, some 12AT7s, but it's full of brand new 6L6s and EL34s here. Yeah, I'm just out riding around. The wind is keeping a lot of people away. The rain. But it's still not a bad Hamfest. There's a couple hundred people set up here at a minimum, and I'm finding some interesting stuff. We need a new head over there. But yeah, slowly but surely people are starting to remove their tarps. I mean, you can see it's kind of overcast and cloudy. There's a low pressure system and a hurricane off the east coast, or a tropical storm, and test gear up here. We'll see what they've got. There wasn't anything there. This tube over here's got a bunch of vacuum tubes, some 7025s or whatnot. They're priced at eBay prices. They've got like $25 a piece on the 7025s. Got a bunch of 12AT7s and 12AU7s, but they want $6 and $7 a piece on those. Just gotta keep riding around. I rent a golf cart here every year. Gas-powered golf cart for every day I'm here. Makes life much easier. Alright, picked up a topping down to $80 on this, a nice ICO 667 tube tester with the manuals, a nice case, everything. And I have outgrown the whoa, just about dropped that. Sorry. We spilled over now into got the entire backfield, filling up the back seat. And as you can see here, it is not 10 o'clock yet on Friday morning. Picked up a transformer back there off of a free table. It's a pretty solid transformer. Make a great filament transformer in a big amp though. Just found these on a table. This is full of old paper and oil caps, some really good ones too. Like that's a 4.47 microfarad, 400 volts. You know, these are sealed up. And then a whole thing full of brand new potentiometers there. But $5, could not go wrong. Picked up a proto board, a really nice breadboard setup here for $20. Thought that would be worth having. Found a Garrett Freedom Ace metal detector that works for, I think it was $30. And, I don't think I went wrong on either one of those. Well, our luck of no rain finally ran out, and it's drizzling a little bit now, but it was raining pretty hard here a little bit ago. You can see the golf cart's second whip. I did get lucky and find a ranch unit at $22.30 for $75. Looks really clean. At any rate, we're going to get it in the car and maybe go walk around on the inside part a little bit. Now, I've got 3 different large indoor units here at the Hamfest with dealers with new equipment on the inside. So while it's drizzling a little bit, I'm going to check out some of the indoor stuff. Yeah, you got the wireman here with all kinds of coax and wiring. The AC/DC group here with all kinds of parts and test leads, components, etc., and some outdoor dealers here. Well, I found another box of tubes here full. Pretty good sized box to fill up the back of it. I think the car's going to be full here soon. Okay, it's Saturday afternoon. I finally made it home. Decided to come home for the night and go back tomorrow. But this is the box. Remember the EL34s and whatnot I picked up. And I was going to show you something here. 12AT7 branded realistic lifetime tube. Let's see if I can get this thing out of here. Sometimes you get surprises with these things when you buy the realistic branded stuff and other name brands. But that look familiar? Brand new in the box, Telefunken, in a realistic box. So quite interesting. There's another one. Let's see what's in this. What did we get? We got another Telefunken. The lettering kind of gets wore off just being in the box, but 2 brand new Telefunken 12AT7s. We'll have to open this one, see what's in the. Usually the RCA's in the RCA boxes or RCA brand. Typically don't see anything else. Kind of. Yeah, you got an RCA brand there. We had a an old tongue saw 5881, looks used but might be in great shape. New 6L6 GC here. I'm assuming. Let's see what's in here. Oh yeah, nice one. It's a gray plate, but still nonetheless nice tube. And we had a 6V6 GTA. And then the fun starts. 2 brand new 5881s. Let's see here. 6L6 GC, another one. Let's see here. 6CA7 EL34. Let's see what one of these is. Realistic branded. No telling. I'm doing all this one-handed. This one looks used. Check it out. What does it say? Germany. EL34. Single getter. And these 2 were in this box here, International Seas, and both made in Great Britain. Take a guess what they are. Amprex Beagle Boys. This one has a single getter in the top, and this has the double getter. That's a really nice tube right there. This gets interesting. I thought these 2 boxes were side by side. I thought would be a matched pair. 1E, 1G fat bottle EL34. You don't see many of those. Brand new. And this one, another, as you can see here, made in West Germany, likely a Telefunken. Another realistic here, made in Germany. Nice tube. I think some of these might have some slight use, but boy, it's not much, because the getters are all there and nice clean. Nice RCA branded. Great Britain. Another Mullard. And that one is a single getter. and another fat bottle. Glad to have a pair of those. That's you just don't see those often. And then there were 4 loose. 2 of these made in Japan here, and all these others here made in West Germany. These 3. So super nice tubes. The reason I believe they're used is they've got little marks on them here. But I mean, these things look amazing. I will definitely be testing these. Yeah, if you need a quad of KT88 gold lines, I found those laying on the bench here. Having fun. This is what the digging's all about. By the way, still working on the Dynaco Mark 3 set over there. Got lots of stuff off the powder coaters, and we've ordered a lot of parts at this point in time. So good stuff, and we'll keep digging. Okay, back to the second day of the Shelby Hamfest. For me, it's Saturday, and I just thought I'd show you this. If you don't get up early and get out there before daylight, you'll be competing with lots of other audio guys digging for the same stuff. So the early bird gets the worm is a kind of true adage. Our first stop on the way to the Hamfest, the most important one. If you don't have money, you can't buy stuff. Okay, sorry for the road noise here and kind of the bouncy ride, but I thought I would talk a little bit about Hamfest strategy with you this morning, and give you some tips. It's kind of hard to do that at the Hamfest, so I thought this might be a better way of doing it. First and foremost, you notice I'm out here. It's now what, 5:28 in the morning, and coming along to the Hamfest. I live about an hour and a half from the Hamfest. I'm cruising up 485, going around the belt of Charlotte right now. Kind of take me to the other side and dump me off towards Cleveland County area. But most of your large Hamfests, the way they work is they have a general admission that will typically start somewhere maybe around 8 a.m. So the general public, if they show up, can actually go in and kind of purchase stuff at 8 o'clock. They'll open the doors. If it's at a fairgrounds, they'll open the fairground gates. If it's at a inside a building, maybe at a coliseum or a event center or something, then you're typically kind of opening the doors at that point in time. But for most audio guys, that will not work out well. If you're going to Hamfest to try to find audio gear, parts, vacuum tubes, etc., the 8 o'clock edition will not get you there. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get a dealer spot, and typically these dealer spots, they'll let dealers in maybe 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and you have to pay the money to get a tailgating spot typically, or if it's an indoor Hamfest, you'll have to get a table. And there's a couple good things you get with that. First, you get in early, and you can be running around checking out stuff before the general public gets in there, because by the time the general public gets there, most of the stuff is gone. Second thing it gets you is it gets either your car into a tailgating spot, or it gets you a table, and you can use that to store the stuff you buy. So you buy a really heavy unit, you can run it back to your table or run it back to your car, put it in there, and you're not having to leave the facility, go out through the doors, walk across the road into the parking lot, and put your stuff up in your vehicle, which consumes a lot of time and a lot of your energy, especially if it's a heavy piece of gear. So, definitely look at doing that. The other thing you got to watch out for, a lot of Hamfests that are indoor that sell tables in bigger cities around my area, Charlotte, Richmond, Virginia, the Raleigh Hamfest, several others like that. You have to buy your table in advance a lot of times to get a good spot. So check out, search for the Hamfest and the name of it, and maybe Google it and find out if they're selling tickets in advance. If so, go ahead and get them. The other thing you want to do is I sit down about 3 times a year and I fill out my calendar with Hamfest. I just you can search ARRL's website, that is Alpha Radio Lima, and You can, they've got a schedule of events on there, and there's lots of other websites. So just search for maybe your state, like I'll search for NC Hamfest calendar or NC Hamfest schedule. And different people will have different Hamfest. A lot of local ham clubs will put it in their newsletters, and a lot of those are online. So that'll kind of help you out in finding out when Hamfest are, and put them on your calendar so you know they're coming up. And you know, the whole early bird gets the worm is 1,000% true. The other thing, a lot of these Hamfests will open up the night before for dealers to get in early to set up. So in some of the bigger ones, I know Charlotte does that, Richmond does that, Raleigh does that. You want to get there the day before, that evening, and go ahead and get your dealer spot, get set up, and get ready to go. Matter of fact, you might buy some good stuff the night before. I've done that many, many times. So, all right, let's roll on to tip number 2. Okay, bright and early here, about 6:15 in the morning. Made it to the Hamfest. Thought I would do tip number 2. People are starting to kind of wake up. A lot of campers here, at least 100 campers, and you know, a lot of people starting to go get showers and whatnot. And but it won't be long, just a few minutes, and I'll be going around table to table here with a flashlight, seeing what I can find as people are getting awake. But thought I'd move on to tip number 2, and that's about the way you need to kind of approach Hamfest. You got to get there early. You got to get to the tables when people are setting up. And so tip number 2 is all revolved around: do not wait until someone gets their table out and gets all their stuff on it to walk up to them and look for stuff. You got to run up to them. You got to, as they're unloading, you got to ask the same simple questions every time. I ask, do you have any vacuum tubes? Do you have any audio gear? Do you have any tube testers? Or typically the questions I ask, which will spawn some type of conversation around what they have or don't have. You know, and if they do have something, they'll say, yeah, hang on a minute, and I'll dig it out for you, usually, because they're interested in selling and you're interested in buying. But I would say the other thing that happens a lot of times is you kind of get people saying, well, you know, I do have a bunch of vacuum tubes, but I didn't bring them with me. And I'll say, hey, cool, I'll come back around and talk a little later and talk to you about that. And you kind of bounce on. And then later in the day, when things are a little quieter and you've gone through everything, you're pretty sure there's nothing new coming out, then you can kind of jump around and go back to that individual and say, hey, you had mentioned earlier you had some vacuum tubes. Could I get your email address, your phone number, or something? Love to get in touch with you. Maybe come take a look at what you've got. I've had those types of leads turn into really big finds before in my life. So don't underestimate what people may not have brought with them, but they may have. See a lot of campers out here. Just kind of cruising around at this point. Seeing if anybody's starting to set their stuff out yet. It's still a little early. A lot of people, like I say, are still getting showers, going to the restaurant, maybe getting some coffee at this point. It is 6:45 a.m. I've picked up 3 tube testers already. Got this TV7DU for $100. I picked up a Knight and a Syncor Mighty 2 and a couple tubes and a capacitance inductor checker. I've already put them in the car and I forgot to video them before I did, but I'll show you those when we get back to the car. I was happy with this one, in great shape. Got the original handle and all. Heck of a deal. And a nice little mono 6L6 amplifier. Extremely happy about it. 2 beautiful vintage homebrew pieces. Alright, it is, let's see here, it's what, 8:45? And the place is filled up nicely. I mean, it's full all the way around. I would say there's several hundred. I don't know how many hundred dealers set up here, but you know, at this point, most of the people setting up are complete. So now it's time to start kind of going around looking, not looking for the hot stuff, but maybe just stuff I need, parts, various other stuff. Yeah. Bought a ton of capacitors and parts off of these people. Really good stuff for restoring solid state. Just been happy with that. It's getting near noon out here and it's pretty darn hot, and there are a lot of people here, as you can see. with a nice good setup, like 100 microfarad, 100 volt capacitor, a bunch of nicotons in here. I was really happy with what all I got out of here. Yeah, just unloading some stuff here in the barn, and bought another bin of tubes. Haven't gone through it yet. Don't know what all might be in that. Ended up with a TV3 tube tester. Pretty nice unit. Box of capacitors here, and these are pretty nice ones. Cornell doublers at 560 microfarad at 400 volts. A whole box of those. Let's see, a box here with some 7868s and some other stuff. I have no idea what's in there, but we'll go through it. I saw a, thought I saw a 1280 U7. Couple, what's that, a 12AT7, 6DJ8, both Amperex, couple 813 tubes, new ones. There's one, and there's one. I bought a whole sleeve of 6080s for $1 a tube. Oh, these I love. I bought 3 packs of these. So I guess 30 of them total. They're 8 BQ5s. And a lot of people see these and walk right past them because they think, oh gosh, I wish those were 6 BQ5s. Well, here's the reality. They're an 8 volt filament version of the 6 BQ5s. And with today's higher line voltage, a lot of times the things are putting out a little more than 6 volts transformers anyway. And these run great. And you can drop them right in any amplifier that runs 6 BQ5s. The filaments just last a little longer because of that. Little 6 BQ5s, a couple of them I found in a box. See a little Viberex key that I bought, and just some odd and end capacitors, a transformer or whatnot. Didn't get his ton today, but let's see what else here. Alright, home from the Hamfest, got the car unloaded out in the barn. A lot of times I'll just bring in bins of tubes like you saw I had on the golf cart, and I'll just kind of stash them away. And that's what I do in the middle of the winter when it's too cold to do anything else on the weekends. But I was starting to put these in bags and label them. Like, there's an entire bag of 0.1 microfarad 600 volt sprays. You look online and these things are $15 a piece type thing, maybe 10. Similarly, just a whole pile of good vitamin Qs and spray capacitors. I was just glad to get those because those things will last the rest of my lifetime. They're kind of this is probably, I won't say the best deal, but probably the thing that made me the happiest at the Hamfest. There's a guy there that comes up from Virginia. He's got a ton of tubes, and he's a dealer, so he knows what his stuff's worth. It's not like you get them for free. It's not like I paid $5 or something for these. But he had 4 brand new in the box, old vintage VT4s, otherwise known as 211 tubes. They're all General Electric, and they're all matched, date codes, everything. So extremely happy to get those. There was another General Electric I picked up off of him that was new in the box. And then I actually found this one over off of another guy. I did get this one at a kind of a deal for like $40. But it's a brand new VT4. I was happy to get it. So all in all, picking up 6 211 tubes at a Hamfest, that's just stuff you don't run across every day. I did find not 211s, but 3 years ago at Shelby, I did buy 12 845s off of a guy for $10 a piece. And I've still got those here. That was one heck of a deal, and I almost felt bad about it, but I kept asking him, was he sure that's what he wanted for them, and he was like, yeah, he just wanted to get rid of them, and he didn't know if they were good or not, etc. I think he had picked them up in a estate sale or something. But at any rate, gonna wrap this video up. I did lose a few pieces of video footage along the way. Some of them were just too windy to use. And so I cut those out and try to keep this thing kind of short. But thanks for watching, everybody. I'll keep trying to document some of these Hamfests. If you enjoy watching them, I recommend though get out there. Some of these I've never heard of, like Filtron. That's pretty interesting. But there's a ton of them here that are stuff that that we've all heard of many times, like little Sprague vitamin Qs. Can't go wrong with those things. Thanks everybody, and we'll keep making these things.